Having a nice day, evening, night, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and having a good Friday. It's the 9th day of August, 2024. 79 years ago, Fat Man was dropped on Nagasaki 3 days after Little Boy was dropped on Hiroshima. So keep in mind that particularly somber time in human history, where, yes, it did lead to the end of the war between the United States and Japan that was remaining after the surrender of the Nazis in April 1945. And it took some more months until the bombs were dropped in Japan. And eventually, shortly after, the Japanese Imperial uh, Army surrendered to the United States, thus bringing to a close a most dark chapter in human events that had gone on for many years. And on a brighter note, well, I mention that because on a brighter note, right, there are some people who believe that Bitcoin can disincentivize warfare, and that would be nice. I don't necessarily believe it's true, but I can tell you that Bitcoin certainly does incentivize certain things and disincentivize certain other things. And if you learn about the Bitcoin protocol, you can find out for yourself exactly what I mean. If you've never read the white paper, I strongly urge you to do so. Just go to the bitcoin.org website and download and read the white paper. Or if you happen to have a Macintosh product since uh, anytime, I think since like 2017 or so, the Bitcoin white paper is actually included on your system. If you did not know that, they secretly, quietly included it in a file, and you might be able to find it. Anyway, okay, so Bitcoin, what is it up to? What has it done for you lately? Well, if you look at the returns on Bitcoin this week and on crypto in general, they've been pretty much nicely to the upside after that little dip we had on Monday. And yes, I call it a dip because it was not, as big of a dump as it was on low time frames. It was not a significant dip on, like the monthly time frame or something like that. And in fact, there are still targets below. So the question is what we're seeing the result of a bull trap being formed, right? Well, if you trade the VEPs, there's no such thing as a bull trap or a bear trap, really. There's just buy pressure and sell pressure. And you can see very clearly that on the, 1 hour, 90 minute, 4 hour, the 3 hour, also the 3 hour, the 4 hour, the 6 hour, the 8 hour, the daily, all these time frames had mean reversions um, that were in progress after the dip. And yesterday we saw the completion of like the 8 hour and the daily after we've already seen completions of the 4 hour, the 3 hour, etc. And obviously there are constantly distributions and mean reversions happening in both directions, right? So that's why buy pressure and sell pressure is important to monitor, basically, because that's what determines the fluctuation, right? That's what creates the volatility, right? The ask and bid spread, the buy and sell prices that are on offer, right? That spread of data between the buy and sell data, that's what creates the volatility, the standard deviation of the returns. What returns am I talking about? The mean of log returns on investments, right? And so the standard deviation of returns is the volatility. You can also look at it as variance, because what is variance? It's the spread of data around the mean, which is basically another way of saying volatility. Right? And that's why we trade using volatility or variance, entropy, probabilities, and statistics at Alpha Trading, right? That's why we've developed a whole bunch of tools for retail traders that are not available basically anywhere else for retail traders. You can use our tools on TradingView, which is the world's most popular site for charting, obviously. And speaking of which, on Wednesday we released an update to our AVR indicator. What's the AVR? That's the Alpha Volatility Radar Indicator, which is a whole bunch of great stuff added into it. In addition to the Alpha Volatility Radar itself, it also has the Alpha Price Percentile and the correlation coefficient. It also has, a number of different things you can use in there. Good, as we've added that you can use. There's EWMA and there's Parkinson volatility, and probably most importantly, at least in my view, is we've added Laplace distribution as a volatility type that you can use in the selectable pull-down menu for each of the AVRs you're using in that indicator. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means that in addition to watching the volatility on normal distributions, you can actually use Laplace distributions, which can be extremely handy, especially when you line it up with tools like the Laplace distribution deviation bands, the pseudo Laplace Z-score tool that we have, and the projection boss indicators that we have that let you use normal or Laplace distributions as well. So we have all these different Laplace-based tools in addition to all the normal distribution-based tools, and that lets you kind of have a suite of tools for each of the distribution types that you can use to scalp extremely precisely by looking for confluences between things like the projection boss on Laplace and the Alpha Volatility Radar set on Laplace, and also the Z-score on Laplace and the deviation bands on Laplace. So there's no shortage of how you can do that. And all in all, very powerful set of tools. And you can get, by the way, if you don't know how to trade the VEPs already, you can just go to alphatradinghq.com/Discord for the free access to our free volatility starter pack of indicators and all the educational information you could possibly shake a stick at. Free access to the chat with the traders who use this stuff, like the main chat, not just the public one. Obviously, free access to the live streams. Our live streams are Monday through Friday. They start at 9 a.m. Eastern time, usually. Obviously, U.S. Eastern time. Is there another time zone that calls itself that? Anyway, so that should do it for you for now. Hopefully that's helpful, and see you guys hopefully at 9 a.m. Eastern time today. See ya. Cheers.